What do you want me to say? No, don't block me, please. You do what you want, dude. Then you do what you want. Clearly, nothing I've said was going to stop that anyway. Except it was, and I literally said I would stop. You either want me to change or you don't. But if you want me to change, you wouldn't be so upset about my opinion, even though that's what you said. You can say that this is just me trying to win or whatever, but it's literally how it is. No, actually, I just wanted you to choose a side and stick with it. Saying you were going to stop and then saying you wanted to continue are legit opposite. You're wishy-washy and just go along with whatever anyone says is the new standard. Aside from that, I made it pretty clear in the beginning that I wasn't into multiple partner stuff and I was into you and you still went off and e-sexed a dude. Then, then, it's just the idea of somebody being so upset that somebody that they were having wolf hyena role play sex with being so upset that the wolf went and flirted with another furry. It's too much, man. It's so hard to take it seriously that they're actually getting this upset about it. It doesn't seem real. Pirate Software has been having a real rough go of things for maybe the last half a year or so. I think that's what it's been. Probably felt longer to him, but I think it's only been about half a year since he first was exposed as a roach in World of Warcraft. He sort of abandoned his teammates in the hardcore World of Warcraft. They died, lost their characters permanently. You don't respawn in hardcore. And if you watch people who know more about World of Warcraft, they will say, yes, this is what happened. I don't know anything about World of Warcraft, but the professionals would agree with me on that from what I've seen. Then he has this game, Spellbound, Heartbound, I think it is, that he did a Kickstarter for 8 years ago and raised 19,000 and some change dollars for that. Has not finished it. Fairly recently on Steam, it came up with a little warning message. Hey, seems like the developers abandoned this game. You had people in the comments of that Steam page saying stuff along those lines, and Pirate Software goes into the Steam reviews and he's arguing with these people. How dare you say it's abandoned? I worked tirelessly on this game and all that sort of stuff. And I believe he did push out a very minor update so that it would get rid of that little warning message. He went after this guy who I don't even think the guy, the indie dev, put it in the public build. It was in the developer version that he was working on of this game, Idle Streamer. And he was making fun of Pirate Software. Pirate Software went after him, either threatening to DMCA the game or actually attempted to DMCA it. I don't remember exactly, but either way, someone was making fun of him, and he's like, well, this needs to be addressed legally, all right? Then he fairly recently had a conversation with Dr. K, where Dr. K kept pushing him and saying, hey, do you think that maybe the fact you're still getting people bringing these things up so far down the line has anything to do with how you handle these things? Do you think maybe other people, if they had taken it more in stride, they wouldn't still be hearing this stuff brought up in their chat every single day, months down the line? And Pyro Software, not super receptive to that. Maybe you think he was a little bit, if you watch it, to me, did not seem like he was picking up what Dr. K was putting down whatsoever. But anyway, the most recent attack Pirate Software is facing is at the hands of this guy right here, Lyric. And if you're wondering who is Lyric, well, Lyric was prepared for you to ask that question. And one of the pages on his website, piratesoftware.sucks, is dedicated to explaining just that. He says, hi, I'm Lyric. I was a college student completing my undergrad requirements and double majoring in mechanical engineering and aerospace engineering. I was a full-time student taking 17 credits, equal to a minimum of 51 hours total academic engagement per week. Until the events described in this document, I maintained a GPA of 3.92 throughout my college career, and I was on the Dean's List and President's Honor Roll every semester. I spent my free time making content for my YouTube channel, Lyric Wolf, where I created piano arrangements for music from anime games and movies. I offered all sheet music and MIDI music files for free and without ads on my website, lyricwolf.com, and I made all of my content free to reuse with credit. After the events halfway through fall 2018, my academic performance plummeted. I finished the fall 2018 semester with a 2.76 GPA and was stripped of my honors accolades. The following semester, I finished with a 2.57 GPA. After that semester, I dropped out of college. Even though I had more time to work on my content, I was unable to find any motivation. After the public fallout of the incident, I lost trust in online communities. I thought if I put my heart out and posted the chat logs, that people would hear me. However, Thor's lies, in combination with his larger fan base, drowned out all of my hope with criticism. I was accused of doxing him and fabricating the entire incident, and everyone believed him. I felt betrayed by everyone. By 2021, I stopped making educational resources, music, and I stopped posting everywhere. So, the way this guy tells it, Pirate Software. Actually, he doesn't even necessarily say that in this part of it, does he? That Pirate Software is to blame for this. But essentially, that's why he made this website. And just to give you an idea, I'm not saying it's the most insane thing in the world, but it's quite a bit just for hating Pirate Software and exposing him. He's got a search feature here. You got background, who is Lyric, who is Thor or Pirate Software, preface, summary, letter to Thor. Yeah, conversations. He leaked a ton of DMs with Pirate Software that are very, very embarrassing. That's mostly what I want to get to, is these guys are doing like furry role play with each other and getting their feelings very hurt about the furry role play as well. It's very, very entertaining. But before we get into that, I'll just read the summary of what this guy says on his website and then go to the DMs because that's really the good part in my opinion. All right. When I was 20 years old, Jason Thor Hall, aka Pirate Software, aged 31 at the time, emotionally abused and manipulated me for his own sexual and financial gain. Thor's actions had a severe impact on my life, causing me to give up being a university student and content creator. Okay. So he says it there. I don't think he said it in his bio, but this is where he does say all of that stuff is Thor's fault. This website details our interactions, how he manipulated me, and how I was coerced into silence. After I was silenced in 2019, I tried to forget about that experience. However, I started to see Thor's resurgence on online platforms. I decided to write a Google Doc about my experience with Thor. At first, I was going to point out his hypocrisy when he accused me of cheating on him when I roleplayed with someone else. I documented each conversation, putting together my traumatic experience bit by bit in a way I did not previously comprehend. Over time, it evolved into this website. Right there, cheating on him when I roleplayed with someone else, that is core to a lot of the drama and sadness that these two had to deal with while they were flirting. Thor's friend and business partner, Shay, aka River Makes Fishbones, age 22 at the time, while at first sympathetic to my situation, would ultimately be a willing accomplice to Thor silencing me. This document contains content that may be disturbing, including emotional abuse. Oh, you know what? I think I have something for this, right? There we go. Content warning. All right. If he's going to give a content warning, I'll put that up too. May be disturbing, including emotional abuse, manipulation, and adult themes, including sexual exploitation and infidelity. Please read at your own discretion. So there's your warning. Get out now if you're not prepared for that. On my YouTube channel, I would upload piano transcriptions of music from video games, among them indie games such as Undertale, Celeste, and One Shot. In February 2018, I would transcribe and publish a track from Thor's game Heartbound. We started talking shortly after, with our conversations mostly revolving around copyright and content creation. On August 26, 2018, I would make a large donation of $800 to Thor while he was streaming the development of his game. From that moment onward, Thor suddenly expressed immense romantic interest with me. On the next day, August 27th, Thor would unprovoked initiate erotic roleplay with me. Our love would continue to blossom. Constructing commitment. He started to shower me with affection, praise, and attention, making me feel special and valued. Love bombing. However, when I would express any reluctance to commit to him and solely him, he would shame me by calling me corrupt or clueless. Thor specifically says his ideal version of me is infatuated, obsessed, and willing to donate all of my money to him. Okay, these carrot things or whatever here really look like there should be a drop down there, but I don't think any of them are. They're just for emphasis. When I told him repeatedly that I was not interested in a committed relationship, Thor insisted that I change my mind. not taking no for an answer. Among the tactics he employed, he tried to gaslight me into believing that I was already implicitly committed to him by virtue of having no love interests in my life. After he manipulated me into asking him to date me, he was unable to convince me to act my part of a committed relationship without being official by blaming my reluctance, saying no to him several times. As long as we don't have any more surprises like this, yes, I'd like a week for things to calm down. That's from their chats there. TwitchCon meetup. Throughout our conversations, he constantly pushed for us to meet at TwitchCon 2018. He would regularly bring up how nice it would be to see me there and how we would have a lot of fun there, even counting down days till we met. We met up at TwitchCon 2018 as planned on October 26th. On the first day, we roamed with Shay and some other streamers. By night, the group went to a bar, but I could not join since I was underage. Later that night, Thor excused himself from the bar to join me in my hotel room. On the second day, while we were roaming without Thor, Shay mentioned that Thor has a secret wife, and we went back to Thor's hotel room. I messaged him asking about a wife, which he denied and blamed me for misunderstanding. Final conversation. Just take a look at this. Oh, there's a whole other page on here, and it's a work in progress. Since Thor refused to talk, I decided to message Shay about it. I explained my situation to Shay. When asked if it was true, I sent screenshots of the conversation where I guided Thor to my hotel room. Shay was sympathetic, and they would tell me that they and Thor were sexual partners and that they were in an agreement to be open at the con as long as they communicated with each other. Shay was devastated that Thor broke their trust by sleeping with me and messaged Thor about his uncommunicated infidelity. Thor blamed me and denied any involvement with either myself or Shay. Don't really care, dude. Nothing is even going on. Okay, will this bring me to... Oh, okay, here we go. As far as I knew, we were fooling around and seeing if we were compatible. You've been pushing a lot for a commitment kind of thing, but I have a lot of stuff going on and not a lot of time. I'm sorry. Nah, dude, you're not. Sending logs to Shay? Please leave me alone. You showed Shay logs of our conversations. Why that would ever be okay is beyond me. Well, I, Pirate Software, if you had a problem with that, you're really not gonna like this website. If you would have just told me what's going on, don't really care, dude. Nothing is even going on. I left the room and he blocked me. Public fallout. In early March 2019, I charged back a donation of $800 made in August 2018. Thor would publicly call me out by name and make posts on Twitter painting me as a scammer. On April 1st, 2019, Thor filed a DMCA claim against my YouTube channel. So, pretty lame on both of their parts. Like, months later, you're charging back. Chargeback, that's supposed to be for fraudulent transactions. Not supposed to be to screw people over like DSP's fans do to him. And then Thor, Pirate Software, files a false DMCA strike on the guy's channel in response. Very productive engagement that these guys are having at that point. I'm sure they both felt that they were able to express their feelings and be heard when they did that. On April 5th, 2019, I posted about the strike on Twitter, and Thor would continue calling me out on the chargeback. I responded with a Google Doc recounting my experience with Thor at TwitchCon. In the past 5 years, he deleted his original Discord announcement addressing the situation, as well as all messages in his Discord around that time. However, considering members of his community as well as Shay claim these facts, we can conclude that this information comes directly from Thor. There were three aspects to Thor's defense. Thor is divorced, Lyric doxed Thor, Lyric's planned this, and he is a scammer. In reality, Thor was married from October 17th, 2015 to February 18th, 2020. None of the published messages, images, or metadata included any personal information except for Lyric's phone number occurring twice. The Telegram archive has never been edited, remaining unchanged since its export in 2018. Thor's actions toward me were focused on financially exploiting me. He would also reward me with unprovoked sexual attention after large donations. Yeah, that is weird, depending on, how accurate that description of the situation is. But I mean, are you not just doing prostitution there? It's like someone chats you, or not chats you, donates to you on your live stream, and then you start flirting with them more in the DMs. Pretty strange dynamic that they're having there. But also, so it sounds like Thor was married when they were talking there from 2015 to 2020. Now, maybe they were separated, not, and wasn't like an active marriage or something like that. I don't know. His defense was effective at the time as the public had no greater knowledge about any of these facts. He had a reasonable deniability for his marriage since it wasn't publicized. He told the online community that I publicly leaked his phone number. He claimed that there were attacks on his personal phone number. Members of his community would claim this publicly, and Shay would also use this as a reason to convince my partner to convince me to delete my posts. I agree, but Lyric released Telegram chat logs, which include Thor's real personal phone number, so he's essentially gotten doxxed, and people have already started subscribing him to stuff with his number. So I don't know how we would verify whether or not Pirate Software's phone number was actually in there, but Pirate Software says it is, and Lyric says it wasn't. My silencing. Thor was able to lie so confidently that even I would end up believing him. At the time, I didn't read back through the chat logs, so I didn't know that his phone number wasn't actually there. I found another romantic partner in January 2019. Thor and Shay would contact my partner to convince them of my wrongdoing. They told my partner that I doxed them, attacked them, and proposed a solution. Source here? What's this? Okay, that's a lot more. He can fix this on his end by deleting the post / reversing the chargeback. Convinced by Thor and Shay's lies and manipulation, my partner would give me an ultimatum that I have to drop the drama and delete all my posts in order to show that I care about our relationship. My partner assured me that Shay was trustworthy because they have a mutual friend and assured me that Thor was trustworthy because he agreed to delete his posts. On April 14th, 2019, I was coerced into deleting all my posts. However, Thor and Shay did not delete any of their messages as promised, instead leaving all of their Twitter replies and Discord posts public, making it look like I was remorseful because my stunt didn't work and further cementing the image of a scammer. Effects on my life. During these events, I was in college double majoring in mechanical engineering and aerospace engineering. I maintained a 3.92 GPA over my first 4 semesters. After the events mid-fall 2018, my next GPAs were 2.76 and 2.57. After that semester, I dropped out. In April 2019, when I tried to speak out, Thor turned everyone against me. I thought if I stayed honest that I would at least be given an opportunity to explain myself. Instead, I had people vandalize my Google Doc, say I was appropriating the narrative of real victims, and accusing me of doxing and attacking Thor. I felt abandoned by everyone. What was once a desire to create free educational content was replaced by feelings of inadequacy and abandonment. I posted less and less, and I stopped making content entirely in 2023. On February 22nd, 2025, Shay deleted their replies to my tweet. Okay. So, more or less, Lyric says their bumpy relationship ended up ruining his life. He dropped out of college because of it and stopped making content, which, I mean, I could see that contributing to it. But unfortunately, I think I do have to defend Pirate Software a little bit here and say, I don't know that this is enough for me to get on board with the narrative here. We want to say that Thor was manipulative and lied and mistreated you and all of that. Sure, on some level, I can agree to that, but little bit extreme. I don't think anybody can really make you drop out of school or stop doing content unless it would have to be very extreme circumstances, a bad relationship and blasting you on Twitter or whatever a little bit. I don't know if that's enough. Definitely not to drop out of school. Maybe that you stop doing content creation. I could see that if a big creator puts you on blast and all their fans are going on your page and being annoying or whatever. That I could see a little bit more, but dropping out of school, I mean, that's ridiculous, right? We all have stuff that happens to us in life, and you got to keep pushing. And you can't really blame those outside factors on why you lose your job or why you drop out of school or whatever it is. But anyway, I want to get to the fun part, which is these Telegram messages between Thor and Lyric. And it's pretty fitting, I think, that I keep the content warning up here because on some of these, I'm not going to be able to even show it because it would now it's not be allowed on YouTube. But Thor says Mar with his hyena character there, and I think this one's supposed to be a wolf because his page was Lyric Wolf. So Lyric replies with this bashful wolf. I think that's what it's supposed to be, a bashful, nervous wolf. And then Thor replies with a hyena licking a bone in what I assume is supposed to be a seductive fashion. Personally, I don't find that to be particularly seductive, but I think that's what's being attempted there. So now I gotta know, what kind of stuff are you into? Uh, well, I'm pretty into paws, but feet, not particularly, and knots. Ooh, woo. But aside from that, I'm really open-minded. What about you? Um, well, what kind of stuff are you into? If you don't mind me asking, that is. Sorry, I'm streaming is all. Okay, so I have one super specific one. No worries, stream comes first. Also, sure, I'd love to hear it. I really like waking up in the middle of getting oral. Oh, well, at least it's an easy one to take advantage of. Like if you just did that when I was sleeping, mm, I could be your alarm clock every day. Ooh, woo. Now you gotta be careful here. This one I can show. Here, get the hyena, I believe, is hot and bothered here, and it's huffing. I gotta go very slow here. Okay, that much I can show. So then you have Lyric's wolf character bending down, looking up into somebody's eyes, it would appear, and you might be able to see just a touch of something going into the wolf's mouth. And I think you can imagine what it would be given the conversation up to this point. Well, we'll move on, jump ahead. This this is a selfie that Thor shared. Very beautiful smile. They look enthused to be doing this. And Lyric says, "What a cutie!" And the cat looks nice too. Inside the pocket, he's got two middle fingers up. That's actually really awesome. Just a little present for anyone. Yeah, that's so awesome, man. A cat giving middle fingers. I mean, that's pretty much the pinnacle of comedy, I would say. I definitely would buy that shirt and then also tell people about it and how cool that is. Okay, was there even anything I wanted to read from this one? Lyric says, "Morning. You're up." Yeah, been up. Did you have a good stream? Yes. That's great to hear. Want a VC or are you gonna sleep? I'm in bed, burrito, ATM. Ah, what a cutie. Snuggles. Pats. You seem to be doing well recently. Where you patting? Well, well, do you have a preference? I'm asking you. Patting your butt. Oh, that's I don't know how you do this role play. Like this really does anything for people. Just describing what you would do as hyenas and wolves to each other. I oh, that's what you like, Herm. You know I do. Rubs gently. What else do you like? Chocolate. And then that bothered Thor. He's upset here. Oh, massages your crotch gently. I also like this. Although I should get my 30 minutes of sleep right about now. Again, Thor is bothered. Huff. Sorry, and I'll be busy all tomorrow. I'll be able to text as usual, but can't watch stream. Ooh, woo. Well, spend time with me before bed. You haven't in a while. I know, but I have to leave in 50 minutes, and I haven't gotten an ounce of sleep. I promise to make it up to you this weekend, okay? Please forgive me. Ooh, woo. You must really want it right now. Huh. Grinds against you tiredly. I wonder if you could rile me up. pushes back on you and grins. Oh, that's what you want? I've wanted it for a while now. He wiggles about slightly as they rub up against each other, grinds back harder, and marls. What do you want me to do? What do you want to do with me most in person? It's a the marls. They say stuff at other points in this. They mention rubbing fingers or paws through their fur and stuff. So they are imagining each other as a hyena and a wolf. Pretty sure it's not. Those stickers aren't just random. That's supposed to represent them. You know, those are the characters in this story essentially. Blushes as thoughts run through his mind. Everything, but mostly I want to take you down my throat. I want to feel your length penetrating my throat, sliding down as deep as it can go. Is that your biggest want? Right now, yes. Though recently I've been dreaming about feeling you in my tail hole. So there you go, tail hole again. You could say behind, all right? Because it anus, but no, it's tail hole because the animals in question here have tails. I'm going to have a lot of fun with you at TwitchCon. Cuddling is also on my list if we have time for that. I I call Big Spoon. Uh, okay. How unfortunate it would be if some innocent cuddles turned into something more. Super wanty. I'm gonna be all yours. Ooh, woo. I think that's one of the thoughts that I enjoy the most. All right, I think that's enough from that one. Really, what I want to get to is Thor being very upset that Lyric cheated on him by role playing with another, I'm assuming, furry. But okay, well, it's I think this is a little bit into it right off the bat, but we should be able to catch up because there are a lot of text here. So Lear says, I guess you must worry that I might be doing the same. Of course, I should know that since you have told me a couple times that you're worried I'm rebounding. I'm not worried because of past occurrences, though. I'm worried because of your actions. Rapidly entering a sexual relationship, super emotionally attached, immediately, suddenly having sexual stuff with another person, mood change from attachment to being distant. It appears unstable and wild, as with any rebound. That makes sense. I think when I said I felt intimidated, I meant more specifically that I am scared to disappoint you. I feel like if I don't agree with your pacing, then you might become upset at me. Well, you going after another guy disappointed me. Nothing else has. Yeah. Also, I hate the way they're not even role playing here. I hate it even when they are role playing, but that's not even what's going on here. Right? Thor is actually mad at Lyric, and he's yeah, really? We need to know that you're stuttering and stammering through text. Why? I don't think we need to know that. I feel like I read into things too much sometimes. I've become paranoid, not only about you, but about everyone else, that I'm doing something wrong. What did you mean by not agreeing with my pacing? Like if you didn't slow down, I'd be upset? Yeah, yeah. I was mostly worried for your sake. I don't do things quickly, so I didn't want you to get bored. But then you got bored and went looking somewhere else. So rip that, I guess. I'm sorry about that. So what do you want? I want to talk with you more and show you that you can trust me. Also, happy October. No, I mean, what do you want? I want to be successful. Wow, that was a terrible answer. I'm sorry. Could you be specific? With me. Right now, I want to mean something to you. You do mean something to me, or I wouldn't be talking to you. That makes sense. If you didn't mean something to me, I would definitely be gone. Oh, oh, I would not like that. Ooh, woo. Well, that's not the case. So, what kind of relationship are you trying to have with me? I guess I'm not sure. I just like to be around you, really. I don't really have a detailed plan for it. I'm assuming you have more of an idea of what you want, though. Well, I need to know what your ground rules are. Like, what are your red flags and limits? Stuff you wouldn't want me to do. Uh, don't hit me? Is this not just obnoxious? Why do you insist? It's not even once in a while. Like half of their messages have the ellipses or some sort of stammering, stuttering built into them. It's very obnoxious. It might seem stupid, but I really just like to be around you. Knowing you, I don't think you would do anything against me unless I'm missing the point here. Well, I'm never going to hit you. I mean, like, for me, doing sexual stuff with someone else if I'm not involved is a pretty big not okay. Do you have limits on anything else? Sorry to seem dumb, but could you give a few examples? Well, I just gave a big one. Right. Hmm. Sometimes it feels like you're interested in being a pet more than a partner. Is that the case? What? No, not really. Is that what you want from me? I'm asking what you want, you submissive wolf. Oh my, oh my God. I've heard people saying that there's so much of this that does not need to be released. It does seem like this is just to embarrass Thor because, oh my God, like, my face feels red just reading this. It's so embarrassing. Like the idea of even just your regular sort of sexual conversations coming out would be terrible, but then especially if it was gay, furry role play conversations. I mean, oh, I think he kind of owns the furry thing. I feel like he's partially somewhat open about that before, but I could be wrong. I'm not a pirate software scholar. I'm asking what you want, you submissive wolf. Well, I don't want to be a pet. All right, that's out of the way then. You are being kind of cagey. You can tell me what you want. It's better if you do. Well, what I want in any relationship, as strange as it may sound, is just being there for each other through everything, which sounds really stupid because, duh, right? But like I said, I'm just a simple dog, and that's what I can think of right now. Sounds normal, and that's fine. I need to know what you don't want. I don't want there to be hesitation or tension between us. I want to talk about everything, even if it's uncomfortable. I don't want you to feel that you can't talk to me about something ever. Good answer. What else? This might seem very specific, but I don't want you sticking up for me just because I'm with you. That might sound really weird, but like, ugh, I don't want to feel like I owe you because you defended me irrationally or something. Stay true, you feel. Obviously, if it makes sense to side with me, then by all means. I won't ever do that, actually. If you're in the wrong, I'm always going to say so. But if there's no other reason, then don't. Hope that makes sense. Okay? Ooh woo. What else? I don't want you to feel stuck with me. If we're in a relationship, we should both be enjoying it. And if that ain't happening, then it shouldn't be happening. I guess that goes hand in hand with the talking about everything part. But specifically about this. I don't feel stuck, so that's good. Well, we haven't gotten to the knot yet, so I believe knot has something to do with some other animal's male appendage. They have knots in them or something. I can't remember. It's some furry bestiality adjacent thing, I'm pretty sure. Okay, can I keep going down this? Okay, I think we're good for now still. Actually, let me just check real quick. I'm just gonna take this off and make sure I can go all the way down here. Okay, so it looks like I'm good to go to the bottom of this without any worries of TOS. Well, we haven't gotten to the knot yet, so how about we hear one from you? Did you fall asleep with the screen on? Silly Thor. Ooh, woo. I passed out. Also, my big no-nos. Welcome to the land of the living room. Well, I meant living, but this works too. You already know them, so my big yes wants are communication and sexy fun times. You do those things, and I'm always going to be happy. Well, alright. Things spiral out badly if communication falls off, especially with you being so far. Assuming being so far away. Right. Ooh, woo. I'll keep up with that. Any concerns or things you like to do here? Do you want a partner primarily for sex stuff? Nope, I just find it to be an integral trust bonding thing in the beginning. Means a lot, something important. That's very fair. Ooh woo. Are you looking for multiple partners or an open relationship? If you are, that's fine. I just want it communicated. It didn't really seem like you were fine with it, though. It seemed like you were upset. But I guess if it had been communicated, you wouldn't. That's the only thing that bothered him about the role play with another furry. I've never had that sort of relationship before, so I'm not sure. Well, it's stuff like what you did before, being with me, but doing stuff on the side. When not communicated, it's shady and effed up. But if I know about it, I'm not worried. So it really comes down to, are you trying to be a monogamous wolf or not? Busy wolf. Oh, so he's saying 5 minutes go by and he said, oh, must be a busy wolf. They really, they do go back and forth. It's like minute to minute here with these most of the time. Well, driving wolf. I guess I don't really know what I'm trying to be per se. Well, this is a really important question, so I need an answer on it. Yeah, for sure. Would it be okay if I think on it for a bit and let you know this afternoon? Kind of surprised you don't have an immediate answer. What specifically is making you want to think on it? Well, as I said before, I hadn't really had any relationship like that, and it's because I've never really considered it heavily. I need to know how it will impact us now and far in the future. And to be clear, I'm not asking for one way or the other. I'm asking what you want, lol. I guess instead of thinking to myself, could we talk it out? Do you have experience with that kind of relationship? Nope, not at all. But considering your actions, I thought to bring it up. Seems like you weren't getting something you wanted from me. That's actually really sweet of you to consider that just for me. I'm not sure how frequently you do stuff like that or what your routine is. I also don't know if it is strictly online or IRL as well. Well, I've been single most of my life. Okay, that doesn't mean much considering I'm 20. I'd hope I'd been single most of my life. I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what my point in saying that was. I don't really have a routine. I also realized I have no idea the logistics as it applies to the future of that sort of the relationship. I feel like you're dodging the question a bit. Do you regularly do sexual stuff with other people, like one night stands in IRL or role play online? Sometimes I role play, but honestly, it's only with close friends that I trust, and I definitely wouldn't consider it regularly, and nothing IRL. I have tried to hook up once before meeting you, but wow, that really wasn't for me. What happens to you in your life that you try going on a date with a person in real life? You're like, that's not for me. I think I'm just gonna go back to doing furry role play online. Weird. It felt like such a huge waste of time. I wasn't really into it. It took so much time to set up and get there, and it just wasn't good or worth it. When you say sometimes you role play, how often? As I said, not regularly. I'm not sure what kind of answer you're looking for, but let me try. In September, like once. August, like once. In July, none, if I remember correctly. You seem intent on making things work with me. I really appreciate that. Ooh, woo. What you mean? Well, you have a pretty good reason to not trust me again, but you seem to want to make it work. I'm not sure if it's because you really like me or if that's just the way you are, but I still appreciate it either way. It's a little bit of both because I can understand a few dumb mistakes being young and not having talked about it prior. Nod, nod. Hmm. Hugs. Ooh, woo. Licks. So, what's got you on the fence about relationship style? I want to understand your thought process here. Well, I want to make the best decision, really. I guess I don't know how that sort of thing would play out in the future, so I can't say if I think it'll be good. Like, would we live together? Would it be like one big relationship or a couple of singular relationships? I think you're overthinking this. I'm asking if you want to keep doing side stuff with other people when we're together. Oh, I guess online I would want to, if that's alright with you. It probably won't be very often. Ooh, woo. What would your reasoning be to continue doing that online? I have a friend that I carry very much. Okay, I'm not gonna keep reading every single one of these ooh woos. I feel weird every time I say it, and there's so many of them. That's a weird thing for me because it shows me that I'm not that important to you, like one of multiple. Well, you may leave for this other person at any time. You are important to me. I would stop for you. You understand, though, right? Yes, I understand. So why this person in particular if it's so infrequent? And is it someone you know IRL? It's not IRL. It's kind of on their schedule. I tend not to really start that kind of thing. How often? And yeah, that makes it a thing you would want to continue? Or what makes it a thing you would want to continue? I pretty much laid out how much I've done it, not very frequently, and I guess I want to continue it because I really care about them. So this was the person from the other day? Like I said, I'd be willing to stop, and yes. Blah. Viv? Maybe that's supposed to be a face, I'm not sure. I mean, if that's what you want, then that's what you want, but I really don't want to be a part of that. Yeah, I understand. So what do you want to do? I want to do whatever makes everyone happiest, but I don't know how to achieve that. Not what I asked, lol. Too vague. I don't want to lose what you and I have. I'll do what makes you comfortable with me. So what's your plan? Plan? I guess I don't really have one. I'm not sure what you're asking, sorry. I'm asking for what you're going to do. Talking about potential plans is cool, but I want to set in stone plan of what you're going to do in this situation. For now, I'll try to do online stuff less frequently, but I won't tell him off completely. At the same time, I want you to understand that it's not because I'm bored of you or anything. I don't want you to take it personally, because that's not how it is. Well, I mean, it kinda is, because you were more interested in me, this wouldn't even be a question. I suppose, but really it's not me starting stuff with him. I'm not seeking this kind of thing to happen. I'm not getting lonely and looking to hook up. That's not how it is. The end result is the same, though. I guess, but I think the mentality matters. I'm not doing it because I'm disinterested in you. The mentality on this doesn't matter much to me. Whether you are actively seeking it out or passively accepting it when it comes your way, you're still hooking up with someone else. Wait, how long has this conversation gone on with just so are you gonna do furry erotic roleplay with other people or are we going steady with each other on the erotic furry roleplay? Uh, I mean, to Thor's credit, I think that it's mostly on Lyric that the conversation has been going on so far. So I, if Thor is being honest, seems like he just straight up wants an answer. Are you gonna keep doing this or not? And Lyric is having a very hard time answering that question. And if that's not okay, then I'll do my best to minimize that. Minimize? What do you mean? Not doing it again. That's all I mean by that. Minimize and never again are two way different things, lol. Well, it's not a matter of what I say, it's a matter of what I do. Unsatisfied face? I'm not sure what exactly you'd call that, but it's like, all right, Lyric, come on. I really have to drag this out of you? From what I understand, either way, if it happens again, you won't like it. The mentality on that doesn't matter so much, right? Well, yeah, if you continue stuff with me, it has to stop. Pretty sure I've made that clear. All right, that's fine. I just don't appreciate you leading me down this weird path to interrogate me when you didn't really want to consider accommodating for that in the first place. Feels like you just wanted me to confess something or like you're trying to teach me a lesson. Feeling like you should have just asserted that you don't want something like that and left it at that. Nope, not trying to get you to confess something or teach you a lesson. Wanted to know exactly what is driving you and what kind of person you are. You're very caged off and don't communicate your feelings a lot of the time. You wait for others to ask or pry, so I had to. Okay, so maybe I was a little bit wrong because I think Lyric might have been sort of right about that. Where yeah, Thor says, "Well, if you want to continue stuff with me, it has to stop." That was not the impression I was getting from what Thor was saying earlier. But then he straight up says that. So I guess this conversation really does have to go on for an obscene amount of time. I'm not good at talking about myself. It still doesn't feel good. I guess I took it in a way that you were considering accommodating for that, and maybe that was just a bad assumption on my part. I just feel led on. And maybe it's because I'm not used to people asking things just to ask. I was never considering accommodating that and never said I was. I wanted to know what you were after so I could determine if I wanted to move forward. It's not deceitful in any way, and I was upfront about it the entire time. I understand, and as I said, it was probably just a bad assumption on my part, and it still feels bad, even if it's my fault. Surprisingly, knowing that it's my fault doesn't make me feel better. Ugh. I was just talking about how I'm feeling, okay? Not about who's right. It just doesn't really feel like you have my best interests in mind, honestly. I said I would stop for you. I assured you that I didn't mean anything by it. I then told you again I would try my best to stop. I proceeded to talk about my feelings. You also told me your ideal situation would be to have both me and them. So like pretty big conflict of interest, dude. Conflict of interest. Okay. Of course, there's a conflict of interest, but I expressed that I'd put aside my interests for yours. That's literally the opposite of not having your interests in mind. We might have disagreements, but you can't expect me to change my opinions for you. Never said you should change your opinions. Man, you are seriously on a totally different communication wavelength than me. Okay. Thank you for saying that. I just feel like this conversation has gone on for so long and they have not gotten anywhere, really. Passive statements, like I will try my best to stop and I will do my best to minimize that, aren't hard statements of stopping the behavior. So forgive me for not taking them as such. Well, if your issue is with what I would prefer as a situation, then that would be having a problem with my opinion. I set a pretty clear standard here. I'm not okay with other people being involved. If that's a problem for you, I think we're done here. And to be fair, I did say flat out that I wouldn't do it again multiple times. Look, clearly you're not getting it. I don't want you to change in any way. I want to know who you are and bail if you're dead set on behavior I wouldn't be okay with. That's how this works. That's how literally every relationship works, dude. Well, I think I've expressed that I'm literally not dead set on that behavior, but it doesn't seem enough for you. You seem stuck on thinking I'm trying to change you or force different opinions on you. I have no idea where that is coming from. You haven't, though. You've said ideally you'd want to continue with him and then said you would diminish and reduce sexual interactions. Now you're saying you would stop. You stated that you don't feel like I have your best interests in mind because I told you that my ideal situation would be to have both you and him. Correct. And that's 100% true. You know what my ideal situation would be? You not doing this crap and being as loyal slash interested as you stated when we met. But you're not. So rip. I said I'd minimize it and that I'd try my best. Maybe you don't get it that I'm using that as meaning more, not less. When I say I'll try my best, that's not an excuse to fail. It's passive and leaves the situation open to interpretation and slips. Not interested in wishy-washy. Well, let's be clear then. I flat out said multiple times that I would stop, and when I said I'd try my best, I meant that I would assure that it doesn't happen again. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. A wolf is faithful 100%. Well, you have a hell of a roundabout way of saying what you mean. Only because you took it that way. It's because you're trying to read me. No, because you don't speak directly, and I'm not trying to read you. I don't think either of you have been very direct. Okay. How much more of this? Okay, they're still talking about fixing the situation. We can jump ahead here to Thor getting more upset about the ERP stuff. So, no, I'm not invested in fixing you. Again, you're just trying to win this. It's not helping, and you're being an ass about it. Well, it seems like the issue you stated first was that we weren't fixing the situation. I'm not trying to win this, you're just not making sense. No, dude, the issue is that you effed another guy online when you had plans to meet up with me and form a relationship. The second issue was that you went distant after doing so and acted like you had no idea our plans were that important. The third issue is that you wanted to keep him around and keep erping, despite us working things out and planning to move forward. And that erping is the erotic role playing there. It's just in case you effed this up, not me. Now stop this crap. I understand that, and I said that I would stop. I'm not sure what else you wanted. For me to denounce him? No, dude. Fixing your second mistake included never doing it again. Telling me your ideal situation would be to continue with him just further reinforce that you don't give an F about me. That's literally not the case. Except every indication points to it being the case. If I didn't give a F about you, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. And I wouldn't be talking to you either. I would have dropped your ass at the first sign of BS. Again, this is so much of a conversation. They've been talking about this for hours now at this point. When did it start? Like 10, 9:30, even before that. Say I'm not that important to you. Or trusting again, 8:30 they were talking about it. Really important question. They're still talking about it then. Was that like 6 hours that they've been going on with this? My goodness. Okay, where was I? Yeah, and I wouldn't be talking to you either. I would have dropped your ass at the first sign of BS. I understand that, and I appreciate it. Now that BS has mounted so high that I just want to block you and be done with it. I can't stop you if that's what you want to do. I still care a lot about you, even past a relationship level. Again, passive, pushing everything aside and just accept anything. F's sake, dude, how much of this do I have to map out for you? Okay. Well, Thor, this is the thing. When when you're dealing with a 20-year-old and you're however old Pirate Software was at this point in time, quite a bit older, yeah, they're not going to be as rock solid on these sort of things. They're not going to know as much what they want out of life. So if you want to avoid this stuff, you could maybe do this with somebody your own age. That would probably help you not have to deal with this frustration. What do you want me to say? No, don't block me, please. You do what you want, dude. Then you do what you want. Clearly, nothing I've said was going to stop that anyway. Except it was, and I literally said I would stop. You either want me to change or you don't. But if you want me to change, you wouldn't be so upset about my opinion, even though that's what you said. You can say that this is just me trying to win or whatever, but it's literally how it is. No, actually, I just wanted you to choose a side and stick with it. Saying you were going to stop and then saying you wanted to continue are legit opposite. You're wishy-washy and just go along with whatever anyone says is the new standard. Aside from that, I made it pretty clear in the beginning that I wasn't into multiple partner stuff and I was into you and you still went off and e-sexed a dude. Then, then, it's just the idea of somebody being so upset that somebody that they were having wolf hyena role play sex with being so upset that the wolf went and flirted with another furry. It's too much, man. It's so hard to take it seriously that they're actually getting this upset about it. It doesn't seem real. Then you acted like it was some big mystery and that you never knew I was into you. I think you're just missing it. Saying I'll stop and saying I want it to continue aren't mutually exclusive at all. You're either willfully ignorant or an abuser, dude. Okay. Really, Thor? You got what? How many years does he have on this guy at this point in time? How old is Pirate Software? Let me check. How old is Pirate Software? Okay, let's try Google, 'cause that should hopefully have the answer straight up right away. He's 37 years old. Okay. And I think this was like 2017, 2018. So yeah, he was like 30 at the time, talking to a 20-year-old. Oh, shoot, which one was that on? Okay, no, that we did go through. Oh, yeah, here we go. I think you're just missing it. Saying I'll stop and saying I wanted to continue aren't mutually exclusive at all. You're either willfully ignorant or an abuser, dude. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So if you're 30 years old getting abused by this 20-year-old just via chat messages, I don't know, man. I think you gotta figure your life out at that point. Not saying it's impossible, but I would need to see a lot more than what's been happening here before I would believe that. I seriously didn't know, Thor. You effed with me within hours of meeting me. What impression does that leave on me? Do people who aren't interested set up dates to meet up and talk about their futures together? Use your head, kid. Or are you so deep in that furry life that you have no idea what an actual relationship even is anymore? F's sake. No, they don't. I was pretty adamant from day one that I was interested, otherwise, I wouldn't have stuck to those plans. It's apparent that our ideas of a relationship differ. That's fine. I'm not sure if that was meant as an insult, but I'll try to take that in the best way. I'm sorry to upset you. I care about you and respect you a lot. As much as it hurt, I'm glad that we talked about it. Because I'm very bad at saying how I feel. I'm sure you picked up on that. And you're right that sometimes I just want to win, and that's wrong of me. I still have no idea how you actually feel. Your words don't match your actions, and you never show emotion in any of your reactions. I don't know if you're happy, upset, whatever. You guys should be using more of those hyena wolf stickers that you had. Those were very emotive. You just seem like you feel justified in doing what you did while acting like you're being forced into a situation where you should feel wrong about it. I didn't want it to seem like I was being forced. I wanted to do it for you. And to be real, wanting to end this has nothing to do with our relationship views. It has to do with the fact that all this has led me to distrust you immensely. I understand. I know I'm not good at expressing myself. I'm trying, but I'm sorry you have to deal with it. You have an opportunity to do so right now, and you're not even taking it. Um, I don't even know what I would say. It feels like anything I've said has only made things worse. I liked spending time with you. Sometimes I would imagine us just working on something in the same room, and it made me feel really happy and content. We didn't have to be working on something, but we were working on something with each other, you know? I have a hard time expressing myself. Sometimes I think I work all day so I don't have to socialize and deal with anxiety, knowing that I'll say something stupid. Like now, I'm just ranting about stuff that doesn't matter, and it wasn't what you were looking for. But I guess I'm dumb for not knowing what I should have said instead. I care about you and want to be your friend. You said it so cleanly when you met me, claiming love and devotion. Why is that impossible for you after a week? So again, your words don't fit your actions. So this whole time they've only been talking a week. I mean, I would think if you're as upset as Pirate Software seems to be, just after a week, just cut your losses, right? They cheated on you by role playing with another furry. Your feelings are clearly very hurt. Just cut your losses. And maybe find somebody who's at least 25 and is a little bit more sure of what they want. And then this won't be such a pain for you, Pirate Software. I think that would go a long way for you versus a 20-year-old who has just no idea what they want with their life yet. Because it felt like I already lost, like it didn't even matter what I did or how I felt. Or you have an opportunity to do so right now, and you're not even taking it. I can't do much more than literally tell you. Oh, he's quoting himself there. I'm not sure what I could say. Seriously? I'm scared that anything I say isn't going to answer your question, because that's pretty much what all of this has been. I've asked the same question like 50 different ways. Just me not getting it. Eventually, one of them has to stick. I'm still not sure what I'm answering. Are you asking if I still have feelings for you? I don't think that's what you want me to answer, though. Then Thor is just head down on the table. I don't know, maybe he's cracking the table there. He slammed his head so much, or maybe that's just the shadow from his hair. I'm not sure. But either way, he's frustrated. I'm pretty sure that's what's being communicated here. Frustration. I understand that you shouldn't have to ask again, but could you please ask very precisely, even if you asked before? What should I ask? Just yes or no questions then? Well, I'm just having trouble recalling a particular question. I'll try to answer as best as I can. If you feel like you should resort to that, then that's something you could try. But right now, I just need a question. All right, here then. How can I believe that I am the important love interest to you if you're simultaneously wanting to continue online sex with someone else? Frankly, we have different values when it comes to that. It's evident that you value it as a lot more indicative to a committed relationship, which is not the same as how I value it. And you were somewhat right when you called it a furry thing. Maybe my desensitization to role playing is because I've been a furry. It just means different things to us. I did view you as my only love interest. I understand you view it as not just a difference of valuing, and you think there's something wrong with me because maybe there is, but I think this is the best way I can explain it. So are they saying that other person that they were role playing with, they don't even have romantic interest in them, really? They just do it for a thing to do? Because they just need to get their little wolf rocks off? It's not really a difference of value when one party is stating that it explicitly hurts them and you continue to do it. That just shows a lack of respect for the other person or a lack of care for their feelings. I guess I was neglectful of you. I'm sorry. I didn't really see that. And you're going to say I should have seen it, and you're right. What I said is this specifically why I said you don't care about me. Because in that situation, you don't. You're more interested in continuing to tryst online than you are in moving forward with me. That kind of thing is exceptionally hurtful, and even the idea of it being a decision that needs to be worked through on your end makes it more hurtful. If you're actually interested in someone, things like that aren't a question. You just spend your energy on that person, not extras. For me, it just seems that you either don't care about me as much as you say you do or aren't ready for a committed relationship. I do care about you. Is this not absurd how long this has gone on? I could be wrong, but I think if Lyric would just say, I'm not 100% willing to give this up, or I am 100% willing to give it up and I will never do it again. I think that's what Thor wants an answer on, right? But he says all this and then there's this, I do care about you. Okay, well that's not really what we're trying to say here. And I'm not saying Thor is being super clear about that either, right? This is on both of them for how ridiculously long this conversation is going on. But it seems like at some point in time, one of them should have been able to just be real firm about this and actually get an answer. It seems very important to Thor that he gets an answer. Are you going to be doing any more furry roleplay online? Or are we going to be exclusive furry roleplay partners? Because that is very necessary for me. I mean, he's kind of approached that at times, but he hasn't really said that. I did, in fact, give you options for open and non-committed relationships early on after seeing this behavior, but you declined them and said you wanted to be with me. You can't have it both ways. You're right. This is why I'm hurt and why I'm mad. I'm sorry. I did want to be with you. I don't know what else to say. I want you to be happy. I'm evidently not very good at doing that, but it doesn't change the fact that I care about you and want the best for you. If it was your only relationship goal, you would have been fine at it. Yeah, well, to be fair, you were my only relationship goal. Like I said, the ERP was very much secondary to that. Having a side dude as a secondary relationship goal? Asking the guy you want to be with if he'd be okay with you continuing having ERP with the side dude is a crappy thing to do. Any human wouldn't be happy with that. Seriously. Okay, well, we're dealing with wolves and hyenas here, Thor, so what are you doing bringing humans into this? Thor, are you looking for multiple partners or an open relationship? Thor, if you are, that's fine. I just want it communicated. Now I'm confused. Okay, so Thor did say, oh, I guess he's not just saying that I would still continue this relationship with you. It's fine, you can do that and then go live your own life without me. I guess that's kind of what he was saying, probably. But he also not being very clear there. See, they're both not very non-committal and won't just say definitively what needs to be said here. Now I'm confused. Maybe there's something I'm missing here, and I'm certain there is. So it's not fine to talk about it? It's fine if you want that. It's not fine if you want that and want to be with me. Oh, I see. I seriously misunderstood that. Well, he could have made it way more clear, right? I think most people would have read that the way that lyric did at first. Now, obviously, once the conversation goes on for hours and hours, and I think Thor did even clarify that along the way, even in the parts that we read. Obviously, didn't read everything either, but what was fine was the wanting, not the open relationship. Uh, wow. I took that as an invitation to ask. I'm really sorry about misunderstanding. I can see why you thought I was being a dick about it now. Yup. I'm sorry. I seriously misunderstood that statement. Well, what now? I don't know. I'm sorry. Please understand that I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't misunderstand what you said. Thor's, I don't know. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry I hurt you. Oh, now sad hyena. Gentle hugs. So, like, Where does this leave us then? I'm not sure. You probably don't want to talk to me much anymore. If that's the case, I'll still be here for you when or even if you ever want to talk. Now more than ever, I need you to make a decision as to what you want, not what you think I want. I want to be at least friends. I would suggest more, but evidently I'm not in the mindset for a relationship right now. Again, not what you think I want. Couldn't be more clear. No, I think I'm not in the right mindset. All right, am I still going to see you at TwitchCon? I'd still like to hang out there. Did you ever figure out your room? Not yet. Still sane with that friend then? And I gotta ask, it's not the same person as the ERP person, is it? He's so bothered that they furry roleplayed with somebody else. Like, please, look, I know it sounds like this isn't gonna work out with us, but please tell me you're not staying with the other person that you did the furry roleplay with, please. I'm heartbroken enough as it is. It's not that I haven't looked or planned. All my money stuff is effed up right now. And no. Well, that's nice at least. My network dropped me because according to them, I was running a scam or something. What? Yeah. Explain this in total. Also, were they even paying you? All right, let's see. They linked me from their CMS. Unlinked me from their CMS. 2 days later, they emailed me saying they dropped me for violating YouTube TOS. Without cause? Which is completely unprofessional to not give a timely notice. Well, I asked them about what I did specifically. Thanks for reaching out. Our brand and safety team checks our partners' channels on an ongoing basis. On your channel, it was related to this policy. We do not have specific information on which exact policy. This is what BBTV sent back to me. You should press them for specifics, because that sounds like BS. I am pressing them, and if it's BS, I'm pressing charges? Absolutely press charges. What charges? Like wrongful termination or something? Can you do that for a YouTube partner contract? I don't know. Maybe you can. A lot of people were let go from BBTV without good reason and without timely notice. How much were you making off the deal? No warning ahead of time. 95.5. So they made 5%? It was 85.15. I recently renegotiated. So they took 15%? What did they offer you in return? I theorized that they weren't comfortable with the new split. Hardly much. Being able to claim videos, that's about it. Yeah, don't be a part of a network. Keep 100% of your money. Yeah, I thought people were pretty much done with networks. That was like, what was it, Maker back in the day? That's how that guy, like Kasim G, I think Philip DeFranco was part of it. Shay Tards. I could be wrong, but I think those guys all made stupid money off of selling Maker to Disney. But, I mean, if I'm remembering that correctly, Kasim G is basically the guy that you would want to be on YouTube. He just got in early, did interviews with people, and then made millions of dollars selling his thing to Disney. And I think he's just been chilling since then. If you don't mind me asking, how much do you even make off of YouTube? And do you lose any revenue from this happening? 1,200 a month. I don't lose any from BBTV, but I am left on my own for AdSense. I'm lucky I have an existing ad approved AdSense account. Otherwise, I would have to wait to be approved, which can take months to a couple years. What is BBTV? Broadband TV, the name of my network. Let's see. Do we have any more? Oh, shoot. Okay, looks like they do get back into this. Oh, geez. What is Urban Dictionary coming out for? Oh, hookup. Let's see. What are they talking about here? You made yourself out like a big. You made yourself out like a big slut, then asked me to be cool with you doing stuff with another dude online. Like, holy crap, man. I'm sorry. Dude, I knew his mom was home when I came over. You didn't say that. Nothing sexual was going on there. You said you hooked up with a guy, and I was like, I'm sorry. Hey, you should get tested. I did. Well, you didn't hook up with him. You hung out with him. A hookup is sexual. You didn't fuck him. You didn't make out. It's not a hookup. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew hookups could be sexual, but I also thought hookups could be not sexual. So then Thora shares the Urban Dictionary for hookup. Taylor says, "Oh, I never looked it up. Wow, I'm just like effing hilarious. 50 billion's dumb, aren't I? Yes, at least. This whole time I was mad because of legit this, because you said you hooked up with a dude recently and didn't like it, then wanted to keep ERPing with a dude online. You painted a picture where you were effing around IRL and online and just wanted another notch on your belt as me. Like, holy F. No, that's not how I view you. Words have meaning. Learn them before you use them. I thought hookup had a different meaning. I'm sorry. Yeah, to people 70 and over. People over 70 hook up? You didn't even read the post I sent you, did you? If a very old person says it, it probably means to simply spend time with somebody. How much egg is on your face right now? All of it? All of the egg? I just read the snippet preview. To have any form of intimacy with a member of the preferred sex that you don't consider a significant other. Usually, when said by modern youth, it means to make out, and when said by people between the ages of 20 and 35, it generally means to have sex. And if a very old person says it, it probably means to simply spend time with somebody. Well, 17-year-old dude, I hooked up with Jill yesterday and she had horrible breath. I almost puked in her mouth. 24-year-old, I hooked up with Patricia last night, but she wanted me to put it in her butt, so I left. 60-year-old, back in the old day, me and my friends would always hook up and play some football down by the lake. Oh, whoops, I was reading that in the wrong voice. That's Thor. That's saying that. Whoops. Language. Language. Now you know. Now I know. I'm sorry. I caused so much trouble for that. Book smart wolf, not street smart wolf. At least I have something going for me. All right, so you're not a sex-crazed skis. You're an awkward dumbass who doesn't know what words mean and actually wants to be with me but has loose ends with people online and only online. Right or wrong? Right. All right, with that in mind, I am good with being with you at TwitchCon, and more than that, take the time you need to tie up your loose ends. That stuff isn't hard unless you were dating them in secret and don't know how to do now. Don't know what to do now. A simple, hey, I'm seeing someone I can't if they come on to you again is pretty much all that takes. Nod, nod. I feel really dumb. Why? Because, like, I threw you for a whole trip because I didn't know how to words. Yes, you did. I'm sorry. Huff. Nuzzle. You are one frustrating doggo, let me tell you. Nuzzles back and bites your shoulder. Oh my god, this is awful. Some might call me a masterpiece. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be conveying. It kind of looks like a salute. And Thor's hyena says, nope. You know, confused, not sure what to say. Eating popcorn. You know, crying? I have no idea what's good. They're just sending pictures of animals back and forth. Okay, now it's mischievous or something a little bit. Now we're saluting again. All right, so now wait, so they send like 10 pictures of dogs and hyenas back and forth, and then Thor says, "All right, so now that we've discussed literally everything, what exactly is your plan with me and what are you going to do? I don't want any more surprises." I didn't mean to surprise you. Stay on target. Right. I am not ready for a commitment. I promised a friend I would stay out of a relationship for a year. Different friend than who I ERP'd with, mind you. All right, keep going. I want to go to TwitchCon with you still. You seem to want to hook up at TwitchCon. Is this the case or not? I wouldn't be opposed. So you want an IRL sexual relationship with me, but not be committed? And I don't, I never used these guys. I don't know. It seems like a not sure what to say face or something, kind of defeated maybe. I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to mean. Hopefully you know. And you don't want to have IRL sexual stuff with anyone else, right? Yes. Smacks your head. And that same face again. That's the same as being in a committed relationship, you dingus. Why are you like this? Well, that's not committed, really. Would you say that's committed? Just because it's exclusive? I don't think that would necessarily mean committed. Exclusive, sure, but it could still be a casual thing just because you're not seeing anybody else. You just want to keep ERPing with your friend online, don't you? But I wasn't going to have IRL sexual stuff with other people either way. Well, I didn't know that until you revealed you don't know how to words. Yes, just sometimes. Why is it so important that you keep ERPing with him? I care about him a lot, but like, are you in love with him? I wouldn't marry him or anything. Also, no. You. Me. You're legit giving me the guy he tells you not to worry about situation here. Like, you want to be with me, you say you love me, but you want to keep furry role playing with this dude on the side? Your one ask is a pretty weird one, if what you said is this entire truth about them. Well, I did also tell you I would stop. Then why is it a demand now? It's not. Did I demand it? Because I didn't mean to if I did. So far, it's been either you getting to ERP that dude, or we can't be together. If that's not the case, then what is the case? The case is I'm not ready for commitment. I'm not sure what that means specifically. I'm sure you'll want me to explain. Yes. Uh, since you want to have a sexual relationship with me and not wanting anyone else, that literally is commitment. So what? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really just tripping on the words, I think. Well, I don't think that you are. I think Lyric is just kind of saying like, I don't want this to be a super serious thing right off the bat. Like, if you don't want me to see or furry role play with other people, okay, that's fine. I can do that, but I don't want to like jump into super serious relationship mode right away. And that to me, that would be like what commitment would be. You're like, this is a serious relationship that we're taking seriously. But Lyric just wants to say, hey, I'll give this a shot and I'll not furry role play with other people if that's a big deal to you. But Thor, I think he actually mentioned, Lyric mentioned this in the beginning, that he was trying to trick him into saying that they were in a committed relationship. So this must be what he was talking about. What do you think commitment is? Like a relationship? No, no. What do you think it is? Don't describe it with other titles. I think it's a relationship. Oh, I guess literally it would mean staying faithful through everything. Yeah, no, that's marriage, my dude. All right, let me break this down for you. A relationship can be anything from dating to marriage. Dating is casual. You're dating someone, trying them out, seeing if they fit. There is no word of commitment, and maybe you decide to end it and date someone else. Dating is meant to be casual, so you can see if people are a good match. If you find a good match, that's essentially the term going steady or boyfriend, etc. Then you don't touch other people and you don't cheat on them, unless you're into that and the relationship is open, etc. Right now, I'm like, hey, yo, you want to date? And you're like, no, I don't want to get married. Also, I'm effing this other guy online. Well, I don't want to get married. Finger guns. Now, do you see what you're saying makes no sense? Look, to be real, this is stupid. Either you have no idea how any type of human interaction works for this kind of thing, or you're playing me because you just want to keep EFing your friend and don't know what to do now that we've gotten involved with each other. Uh, it's super hard for me to believe that you legit have no idea how any of this works at the age of 20. I mean, like I said, I would stop for you. I asked you to stop and you said you wouldn't. So, no. What? When did I say I wouldn't? This whole time you've been saying you're going to continue doing stuff with him and don't want to commit to me. Literally this whole time. Okay, I think there is a misunderstanding here. I don't know if I'm like looking. Does that word make more sense? I'm really not super great at all the terminology. I don't know if it makes any sense that they are with someone. How crazy is it that they've just not gotten on a call this whole time? They've been talking for hours about this. Just get on a call and you could hash this out way more easily. Well, they're gonna go back and forth and back and forth. I guess maybe they like to share the pictures of the wolf and the hyena, and that is more immersive for them that way. But then I guess they could keep the cameras off too, right? Wouldn't really ruin the illusion that they're not a wolf and a hyena. I don't know. Yeah, it makes a difference. Why are you making it hard on us to do stuff with a person who's already got someone? I'm not trying to make it hard on us. Regardless, this is making things hard. His mate knows, and the role play isn't me trying to get with them or anything. And then what's the point? I guess there's no point. Now Thor is salty hyena. Boy, you gotta get your priorities straight. I know. And disappointed hyena. You said lot of wild crap since we met. Said you loved me, said you would give me your entire savings, wanted to live with me, wanted to be with me forever. Now you're talking about hookups, even though they weren't hookups, and how you want to keep role playing with the dude online, despite him being with someone and it being not okay for me and stopping us from moving forward. For all intents and purposes, you either didn't mean those initial things you said to me, or you don't mean the ones you're saying now. The only thing stopping us from moving forward is that I don't know if I'm ready to date yet. I like how you glossed over all of that and came to say this. Well, I read the whole thing and noticed a pretty big misunderstanding there. I did mean those things at the beginning. If you weren't ready to date, you wouldn't be trying to date me and be at TwitchCon, you big ass baby. I just wouldn't be able to give you the time you deserve. What does that even mean? I'm a double time student and I am just a total mess right now in terms of responsibilities. I just don't know if I can handle more stress. I was infatuated with you when we first met. Was? When we first met? Yes, I was obsessed, really. Especially when you said you wanted to voice call every day. That made me really happy. Voice calls mean a lot to me. What changed? From my side, it changed when you started using your words flirting around. With time, became more and more scared of what you think of me, especially when you said that you wanted to slow down. Maybe to you it was just a passing comment, but I guess I can say I started being a lot more self-conscious around you after that. Okay. You were going too fast. Why wouldn't I say something? I mean, there's tons of crap that I noticed and never said anything about. I'm not saying you're at fault. Like your Telegram profile. I agree with what you said. A canine's got the keys to my heart is a pretty weird thing to put out there if you're single. So Lyric had a canine's got the key to my heart on their profile, and Thor is upset about that. He's like, wait a second. I'm not a canine. Who's this canine that's stealing my man from me or stealing my wolf from me? So is a hyena not a canine? I would have thought they were, but maybe not. Oh yeah, you're right. It's weird. I guess you would like me to explain it? All right, I'll take that as a yes. Yeah. Am driving. Give me a hot sec. Basically, to clarify, I am single and not looking, and also added that to my bio as a stunt with one of my friends. It was literally because we thought it'd be funny and was not indicative of a relationship. Lock. Yeah. Night. Napping before night stream. Have a good rest. I'll be around. Okay. I think we can pretty much call it there. It just looks like it's one more time that the Erpen comes up, so I'll read that and then wrap things up because I have read more than enough of this nonsense. What's got you so happy anyhow? Honestly, I kind of woke up this way. I felt like garbage for most of yesterday, and today I guess I feel optimistic about the far future. Okay. Well, how are you feeling today? Not great. Oh, do you want to talk about it? What is there to talk about? The crap with us is bringing me down. Oh, I'm sorry. What are you even sorry about? Being just stupid. You asked me yesterday what the point of me wanting to furry roleplay with my friend was. I couldn't answer, and I only wished I could explain. I think you were right to some degree about it being a furry thing with me. As embarrassing as it is, that's how it's been with me for a long time now. And as I'm growing up and maturing, I'm starting to see that there really hasn't been a point to it. I want to stop for you and for myself. It's irrational, and I can see how it could be frustrating to try to deal with. That's what I'm sorry about. You said I've been wishy-washy, and I think it's because I couldn't make a decision about it. I was really feeling a cognitive dissonance, and I just didn't know what to think. I'm also sorry about that, and I think I have a better idea of what I want for my future. All of that is very positive, at least. Sometimes it takes time for me to figure stuff out. Thank you for being relatively patient with me. You said you have a better idea of what you want for your future? What is it you want? I want to be stable and focus on one person. Vague, but positive at least. Ideally, the end goal is to live with my significant other. I guess that would be obvious, though, wouldn't it? Uh, Unsure, straight face. I don't know what exactly this is supposed to be. I kind of get like the emotion from that. I'm just like, What? I think that's what it's supposed to be. Some of them I really don't understand what they're supposed to be though. Or rather, I guess that's one of my many end goals. Well, I guess I wish you luck then. It's a good, solid, positive plan. Nod. At first I thought you meant with me, but it's clear you didn't. I'm going to get back to coding. I don't even know if you would want me after this. I like you. Good luck with coding. Good afternoon. Thor, I would like to date you. Is that excited? Something like that, maybe? Felt like I should be more direct about that. Yeah, that's a much nicer change. I'm glad you like it. Now my question to you is, Thor, would you like to date me? As long as we don't have any more surprises like this. Yes, I'd like a week for things to calm down. Okay, that's fair. Boop. Hello. Hiya, how's your evening? Pretty okay, just settling into the night stream. Nice, I'll hop in. Nuzzles. Nuzzles. Uh, Wags and wraps my arms around you. Mar. Rar. I'm going to put a sticky note on Lore's face. Okay, I think you need to be watching the stream to know what's going on there. I'm not sure. But I mean, look at that. Sounds like at least for a little bit, they worked things out. They had a temporary, happy little ending. Thor, do you want to date me? Yes, yes, I do. Lyric. Okay. But clearly it all fell apart because now we have this website, piratesoftware.sucks. So I don't know. I think a little bit weird. More than a little bit weird. I gotta be honest. A 30-year-old with a 20-year-old, like, why do you want to hang out with somebody with so little life experience, especially in a romantic relationship or whatever? And it's just, I mean, even Thor seems like he should have realized that a long way through that conversation because he was clearly getting frustrated that this 20-year-old didn't really know what they wanted for relationships in their life. It's like, yeah, dude, what do you expect from a 20-year-old? You're a 30-year-old. You're at a very different place in your life. Makes sense that you would be way more definitive on what you want from a relationship. And my goodness, he could not just really come out straight and say that. But either way, even though it sounded there like it wrapped up nicely and they had a good time and they were going to be dating, clearly it didn't because we have this website and I'll link this in the description if you want to check out more of it because I mean we only read part of it. There's still this letter to Thor preface. There's lots more conversations. That was a fraction, maybe 10-15% of all the messages that he shared that we just read there. But yeah, anyway, I guess my end opinion is this is just not really that serious. It's like a stupid furry roleplay relationship, and biggest thing is weird. Weird that 30-year-old Thor was messaging 20-year-old Lyric. I definitely would not want my 20-year-old doing that with a 30-year-old. That would be, a nightmare situation to me if that was going on. But I didn't even know. Did they actually meet up? Or did it fall through before then? I don't know. Whatever. It's just a mess, and the whole point really was just to read those funny messages. So hopefully you got that out of that, and we'll call it there.